It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shouts out to everybody that comes into the room. You guys already know what to do. Make sure you smash that like button. Also, make sure that you share the stream out. And if you're not subscribed to my backup channels, take a moment and make sure that you hit up the backup channels. All right. Depending on how quickly I get done with this, I'll be able to get into the other one because there's a lot of connecting stories here today. That's kind of why I'm running through this stuff as fast as I can, because you guys know the news cycle does not stop for anyone. All right. So I try to stay on top of this stuff, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the streams. Now, my question for everybody, if you're a replay viewer, make sure that you leave this in the comment section. For the people that are watching the video live, make sure that you guys leave the answer to this question. How much money does it cost for a Democrat majority? That is my question. How much money is coming out of your pocket when you go to the stores? How much is coming out of your pocket as far as taxpayer dollars? How much money are you spending to keep Democrats in office, or how much money is getting extracted from you while Democrats are in office? That is the question. How many people have tallied that up and itemized it? Shout out to my man Hobb. What's up with it, bro? Do you notice things more expensive? Do you notice a better economy, or do you notice a worse economy? My question for you guys is, when was the last recession and who was the president? That should be pretty easy. So while you guys are answering that, we're going to take a look at some of these numbers, all right? Americans have lost $4.2 thousand in income under Biden, and this is what a study says. Now, my question for you guys is, can you feel that? And if you do feel it, where are you feeling it at? Are you feeling it at the pump? Are you feeling it at the grocery store? Are you feeling it in your power bills? Where are you feeling it at? That's the question. Shout out to Donna. Donna says Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. You guys got any other answers? AB Promotion says Obama.
Joining me right now is former OMB Director and Center for Renewing America President, Russ Vaught. Russ, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. What do you think the economic pain to come will look like?
Well, I think it's going to be continued. And I think the reality is that the Fed yesterday was setting the market, the public up for the fact that this is going to exist into next year, that inflation is not transitory. It's not going to just be able to come down naturally so that it meets in the middle with the rate hikes at the end of this year. And I think it's going to be something that there's going to be pain. And I think the message from yesterday is there is not a soft landing coming from, and I think you saw the markets react to that.
Yeah, I mean, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget finds that Biden's student loan handout will cost $500 billion.
And we'll definitely be looking at that student loan handout report. We'll definitely be looking at that. And now my question for people is, with the coming financial increases, how are people planning to deal with it? That's the question.
That's more than double the amount saved over the next decade through the Inflation Reduction Act. He was, boasting about, we're going to get the debt and the deficits down. And then he comes out with the $500 billion loan bailout. The same analysis found that Biden's administration has added nearly $5 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade. That has to add into all of this, the economic pain.
It does. And Wharton says that the student loan cancellation is upwards of $1 trillion when you impact all of the behavioral changes that go into it. And that same committee that you just cited said that we're talking about 75 basis points alone to counteract that one decision. And so the Biden administration is loading all of the bad spending, economic policies, anti-growth, bad energy policies onto one side of the equation and saying, saying, hey, it's the Fed's independent, and letting them do what is necessary. But unfortunately, it just makes it harder for them to get a handle of the problem that we're facing.
Hey, Russ, we've been talking about the IRS this morning. You're going to be filing a complaint with the IRS against Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we are filing today 2 complaints to the IRS to draw issues and complaints against 3 entities and to raise questions with the tax deduction that Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan took. And our main issue is this. They contributed to 501c3 organizations, which are nonpartisan, educational. They are not allowed to intervene in the election. They are not allowed to participate in the election. And yet those 2 individuals, very public, hired David Plouffe, who wrote the book on how to defeat Donald Trump, a partisan book, and then spent $400 million through these educational entities to be able to shape the election and give money to privatize the local election offices so that the same people that were running the election were the people that had an interest in Democrats winning. That's not allowed. If that is legal, nothing is illegal. And so what we're saying is, with the vast history of the IRS being weaponized against conservative groups, that was wrong. And this is wrong, and the IRS needs to take a look at it. And we want to put it on their radar. We are not of the belief that they are going to automatically pick this up, but we believe that there will be an administration in a few years that will have an opportunity to take a look at this and say that this tax-exempt status should go away for these 3 these entities, and the deduction that Chan and Zuckerberg took should not be allowed.
Yeah, I mean, Molly Hemingway wrote a whole book on it. She's from the Federalist, on how big tech impacted the election. So you don't expect any real movement, though, until another administration is in place then?
Well, you know, who knows what happens next year if there's a Republican Congress in place, putting pressure on the IRS. We're going to be very supportive of getting rid of that $80 billion in January to make sure that they don't have the kind of money to be able to have audits of small businesses across the country as far as the eye can see. We want them to be spending their time on this type of a complaint to be able to get to the bottom of what is going on and prove to the American people that they are not weaponized, because I believe that they are. And we want to make sure that we can win the debate heading into the next administration.
Yeah, that's great that you're doing this, Russ. Bob Nardelli, jump in.
Yeah. Hey, Russ, you know, Chairman Powell talked about inflicting pain. One of the things that isn't talked about much is the 401k. And my understanding of that is, if you take the market compression of about 15%, 8% inflation, you know, the people that are living off this fixed income are down about 20%. So what's the answer for them, and what's being done to help those individuals?
Nothing's being done to help these individuals. I mean, there are, anywhere you look, there's going to be economic pain from the stock market, from people who are taking a look at their savings accounts and realizing that it's.
We're going to be talking about the stock market too. We're going to be talking about all of this stuff. So now here's my question, ladies and gentlemen. How important is the economy to you? If the economy is important to you, give me a thumbs up. If the economy is not a big deal, you know, there's other stuff that you could be looking at that's a little bit more important than this, then give me a thumbs down. All right. And another thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is pay attention to my subscriber count, how it's decreasing.
Depleting. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are getting back into the workforce and keeping those numbers higher than they ordinarily would be. I think the fact that we have social safety net hammocks that are no longer nets, they're hammocks, is one of the problems that we have faced throughout this pandemic. But there's going to be issues however people are trying to construct their economic life to be able to live and to have businesses and to support their communities. And the Biden administration is making it harder. And I think the Fed is.
So now here's my question for you guys. You're blocked on BLR2? This is BLR2, bro. Is everybody able to see Cameron's comment? If you guys can see Cameron's comment, give me a thumbs up. If you guys can, on BLR1, no, you shouldn't be. I don't have anybody blocked. Let me just double check real quick. Is anybody else having any trouble commenting? Or Well, let me just double check this real quick. Give me 1 second, real quick, you guys. If you guys have not smashed the like button, take a moment, make sure that you guys smash the like button. Give me a second. Yeah, unless a moderator might have accidentally like fell asleep at the wheel. Let me see. Hold on real quick. Yeah, I don't have any. There's nobody blocked, nobody hidden. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's saying that. You know, YouTube is weird. It does some weird stuff. So I don't know why that's doing that. Huh. The stream you were checking names for the other day. Yeah, you should be able to comment in there, and it was a members only, and I'm pretty sure you're a member over there. So I don't know why I was doing that. It's weird. So here's my question for you guys. Is a Democrat majority government more or less expensive? And if you have a government that's more expensive, what does that do for the racial wealth gap? Let me know in the comment section. What is Biden's presidency doing for the racial wealth gap?
Is trying to articulate, given the fact that they were so long to address this problem, they had lacked so much credibility on it. They still don't really articulate the fact that inflation is a result of monetary policy. So I think it causes them to have to double down in moments like this. Yesterday, the speech out west, to get the market to realize this is not going to be a ticker shock situation where we automatically walk away. They are trying to learn the message and the lessons from the 1970s to say this needs to be sustained, prolonged, so that we can beat it and get the economy growing again at a later point.
Russ, it's Dagan McDowell. Also a lesson from the 1920s where you have asset bubbles and speculation and gambling. And that actually also just the gambling element of it fuels inflation because people.
So now look at these. What do we remember during the Ukraine series? We talked about the skyrocketing price of commodities. What do you guys see here with these pork, milk, oranges, coffee, and butter prices? Pork is up 6.8%, milk is up 17%, oranges are up 14.4%, coffee is up 17.6%, and butter is up 24.6%. So now here's my question. What are people doing to decrease their spending?
People are busy betting on Bitcoin, and this is fading a bit, instead of doing something that is productive, that helps the supply side of the economy. That being said, we in the last 20 years have turned into bailout nation. If anything bad happens to anybody, Republicans and Democrats are at the ready to dive in and bail people out, whether it's the Federal Reserve, whether it's the actual politicians in Congress and in the White House. You saw it with you get mortgage reworks during the Obama administration. Oh, you overpaid for a house. You were speculating on a house. They had a couple of mortgage programs. I named just a few things, but it's going to take a lot to end this mentality.
So now here's my question. If we know that a Democrat-run government is going to widen the racial wealth gap, who is this Democrat majority benefiting? That's my question. And another thing is there anybody out there that's giving any kind of content advice on how to individually make sure that you yourself don't contribute to widening the racial wealth gap by budgeting and spending your money appropriately? Because, see, these are the things that the government's not going to tell you how to do. And when it comes to the media talks about more than just things, going on like a policy that we didn't get or a police killing. You can get financially killed too. And when it comes to finance, if economic empowerment is the most important thing, you would think that there would be more content about the economy and how to properly prepare yourself and line your purchasing power so that you don't get hit too hard with these economic waves. You see, here on Fox, this is the New York Post, but right here on Fox, they have a business segment. Just saying.
Well, Dagan, I think a really important point you just made is that, you know, one of the reasons we have this situation with the market, where the market just believes, you know, everything that the most optimistic readings, inflation's transitory, the Fed won't continue this throughout the next year, is because they're used to these institutions bailing the market and individuals and certain businesses and sectors out of their bad decisions. And there has not been a recognition of the fundamentals that we all know because we read our economic books and we understand how this works. And as a result of that bailout nation that we've really seen since 2008, we are in the situation where we are in, where it takes a long time of sustained messaging and decision making to get the market to figure out where we are headed.
Well, layer onto that all the misinformation coming out of Biden's White House. Oh, the border is secure. A recession is not a recession. Okay. Russ, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much.
All right. So now what it says is, according to this study, Americans have lost $4.2 thousand in income under Biden, study says. Now, here's my question. What could you get with $4.2 thousand? Oh, you know what? Shout out to my man JB Easy. Uber, DoorDash, or OnlyFans, get your money. Now, check this out. That it's funny that you said that. We're gonna get back to this article that I had up, but since JB Easy brought that up, I want to show you guys something else. What is this? What do we have here? Lyft freezes all U.S. hiring amid stock slump, economic downturn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Richard. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? Not a good. Not a good at all. So Americans have lost $4.2 thousand since the Biden presidency. Now, here's my question, ladies and gentlemen. Racial wealth gap. Racial wealth gap. The average American has lost $4,200 in annual income since President Biden took office, entirely wiping out gains made under the Trump administration. An analysis from Heritage Foundation shows the losses come down to surging inflation and higher interest rates, experts at the conservative think tank said in a Thursday report. Okay, so, and we'll be talking about these surging interest rates very, very soon. All right, I got a Tales from the Cryptocurrency coming up, and we're going to be talking about all of that. Okay. Their analysis found that the average American has lost about $3,000 in annual purchasing power because consumer prices, which have risen 12.7% since January of 2021, have spiked significantly faster than wages. Let me ask you guys a question. When did we talk about this? How long ago was it that we talked about this? Does anybody remember this content? If you guys remember, when did we talk about this? Wages have risen just 8% over the same period, which has effectively resulted in a pay cut for Americans struggling to pay daily necessities, including food, gas, and rent. Now, here's my question. What class of Americans will be hit the most by these economic changes? Upper class, lower class, middle class. Last month. Facts, AB. This is literally word for word what we were saying. Higher interest rates and borrowing costs have also reduced the average person's purchasing power by another $1,200. So that means that you can buy $4,200 less. Yeah, Carlton, a few months ago. Facts. That's why I always tell everybody, make sure you watch all of the videos, because the way that I structure my content, it's never outdated. It's never outdated. Simply put, working Americans are $4,200 poorer today than when Biden took office. Remember what I told you guys? I told you guys the most important thing that you can do is not save money, but to maintain your purchasing power. Remember when I said that? Saving money is simply collecting paper. Maintaining your purchasing power is protecting yourself against inflation. Didn't I tell you guys that the market was going to just disintegrate? We tried to warn people about this months ago. Simply put, Americans who are working are $4,200 poorer today than when Biden took office. Now, here's my question. Why? What's the exact reason as to why this is the case? This financial catastrophe for American families is the direct result of a president and Congress addicted to spending money, combined with the Federal Reserve compliantly enabling this addiction by printing more dollars. How many times have you guys heard that? Under the Trump administration, Heritage said the average American's annual earnings had increased by 4,000. So, if you average, according to this study, the Trump and Biden administrations, there's a net negative of $200. Anthony said Americans are in a vicious spiral and may have taken on additional debt to cope with higher living costs. And we just did. If you guys have not watched the last All Money Ain't Good Money, we just talked about how most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck and inflation is currently increasing, that means that at some point you're going to have to go into savings to pay your daily bills, which is where we're at now. Now the Fed is finally fighting inflation, which is pushing up interest rates and increasing financing costs. He said rates on all kinds of consumer debt are rising, which means that it's not a good idea to have credit card debt right now. Mortgage interest rates have doubled since Biden took office, greatly increasing Americans' monthly payments. Many New Yorkers griped they are feeling that pinch. Street cleaner Fiona Santiago, 32, told the Post that she's forced to travel from her lower Manhattan home to Brooklyn just to save money on groceries, which I don't know how she's saving any money, because more than likely she's paying gas costs. So now here it says everything is going up, so it affected me drastically, she said. So now here's my question. Why is everything going up? That's the question. Why is everything going up? That's the question. She said, adding that she's becoming more out of pocket now. It's been tight, but I've been trying to make it, especially affected the low income. I don't even shop in my own neighborhood. I grocery shop in Brooklyn so I could be able to afford it. Where I'm at, it's even worse. I have to go to Brooklyn to shop for my food, she continued. Milk is almost $5. Marie Schulman, who sells handmade jewelry at markets across the city, said the cost of a taxi or Uber from her Upper East Side apartment down to Soho has more than doubled for her inflation surges. So now, how do you deal with that? What's causing that? Yeah, the dollar is actually very strong outside of the United States. As a matter of fact, it actually has caused a financial crisis in the Philippines. The Filipino peso has sunk as a result of the dollar. So we'll be talking about that soon. Like I said, there's a lot of content to talk about. As far as the cost of goods, transportation, and other things, it's like eating part of my profit, she said. Back then, a car ride used to be $30 to come down here. Now I have to pay $60, and on the weekends, $100 to get back home. Schulman said even the cost for her jewelry supplies has gone up. It's literally almost double, and my price stays the same, she said. So what does that do to the profit? If the cost of supplies has doubled and she's still selling it for the same amount, what does that do? That's the question, guys. What does that do? Meanwhile, businesses that had already been ravaged by COVID-19 are now struggling to stay afloat due to inflation. It affects the business because people are now waiting more time between haircuts. Author Ishikov, who runs the Barber's Blueprint in Little Italy, told the Post. So they're getting haircuts less frequently. COVID devastated our business, and more than anything else, now inflation isn't helping. So again, what we have to pay very close attention to is that this individual doesn't understand the meaning of devastation, because even though his profits aren't where he would like them to be, he still has his business. It's not like somebody came through there and burned it down like Tulsa, Oklahoma. Concerns about persistent inflation were renewed this month when federal data showed consumer prices had increased 8.3% in August compared to the same month 1 year earlier, a figure that was worse than economists had been expecting, which is one of the reasons why you see every single market in the red. That's why every single market is in the red, because the projections of the inflation are even worse than what was expected. So now here it says Biden downplayed the worse than expected data, suggesting that an improvement in gas prices was a sign that inflation had started to moderate. Remember, we had that very conversation. We actually did a stream on that, and we talked about that, and it wasn't happening. I said that was back when Biden fell off of the bike. Today's data show more progress in bringing global inflation down in the U.S. economy, Biden said in a statement last week. Overall, prices have been essentially flat in our country these last 2 months. That is welcome news for American families with more work still to do. So now here's my question. Do you guys agree with this article? And if you don't agree with this article, what is it that you think about this article that's inaccurate? Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of how much money the United States is giving out. I have no idea because it's so much. But one way that you can know a good estimate is by following the All Money Ain't Good Money series on both of my channels. But what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some of the stimulus checks that are going out, because my question for you guys is, were you aware that the United States government was just giving out money? A bunch of stimulus checks are about to go out. Now, if you guys recall, didn't I say back when the Ukraine conflict first started in Russia that they were going to do this toward the election? Didn't I say that? If you guys recall me saying that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not recall me saying that, give me a thumbs down. But we definitely said it during the Ukraine crisis. So if you guys haven't watched any of those videos in the Russia Report playlist, I'd advise everybody to watch every single one of those, because literally all of this stuff, we called every single thing. So let's check this out real quick.
It's now law.
A quick break from summer vacation for President Biden to celebrate and sign the Inflation Reduction Act. It was a small ceremony. The big celebration will be held September 6th when lawmakers are back in town. The White House says Americans will feel the impacts of the new legislation soon.
I think this represents a culmination of the Bidens.
So now here's my question, right? One of the things that we talked about, at least this was my opinion, I said that the United States government giving out so much money during COVID is one of the reasons why the economy is sinking now. So what are they doing to fix the economy? Instead of creating jobs, instead of creating sustainable transactional money cycles, they're just giving away more money. So now here's the problem. We're post-COVID with all of the stimuluses, and the economy has tanked. So now here's the question. What does the evidence show? What does Economy 101 microeconomics talk about when it comes to government spending? This is all basic textbook stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you're seeing it play out in real time.
Administration's effort to bring together a package of economic policies that help our economy get to the next level.
The IRA is good news for those who are trying to go green, with some $375 billion to fund climate change strategies spread over the next decade. The bill also focuses on healthcare, extending pandemic-era subsidies to help millions pay for their health insurance costs. And it puts caps on prescription drug costs for those on Medicare.
With this law, the American people won and the special interests lost.
But Republicans point to inflation at 8.5% as the reason more government spending is a bad move. Gas prices may be coming down, but the price of a gallon of...
Where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from to generate any of these handouts? So you're taxing people to fund giving them their money right back. You're taxing people for that money to be given right back to the people that you just taxed. Make it make sense. Somebody make that make sense. How does that build wealth?
regular and grocery costs are still high.
It's a joke that it's called the Inflation Reduction Act. The one way to reduce inflation by the federal government is to reduce unnecessary spending.
This month alone, cabinet members are planning to fan out across 23 states to promote the bill. Even more events are planned for September. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
So we're going to check out these handouts. States sending stimulus checks in 2022. Now, remember, there's no money for reparations. Remember this. But here's what there is money for. Faced with inflation coming out of the pandemic. So again, faced with inflation coming out of the pandemic. And why did that happen? Why did we have inflation coming out of the pandemic? Americans are having to make tough budgetary choices. To help ease the pain, many states are offering various monetary assistance options. Now, didn't I tell you guys way back during the Ukraine series that this would happen? If I said that this was going to happen during the Ukraine series, give me a thumbs up. If I did not say that this was going to happen, give me a thumbs down. As Fox 8 recently reported, Ohioans who would qualify still have time to sign up for a $500 energy assistance program. So now here's my question. After you've spent that $500, what happens to those energy costs? Do they decrease and stay decreased, or do you still have to pay the fixed energy cost or the increasing energy cost? But compared to other states, such as California, where some people are set to get inflation relief checks starting next month, Ohioans are not getting extra money. So now it just said they're getting $500, but now here it says Ohioans are not getting extra money. Why? Make that make sense. Here's a list of states offering more relief to residents this year. Now, this is what's going on in Alaska. Even before the pandemic, Alaskans got money for simply living in the faraway state. Did you guys know that? That you get paid to live in Alaska? If you guys did not know that, give me a thumbs up. If you did know that, give me a thumbs down. They actually pay you a stipend to live in Alaska. They do. I actually looked into it. But this year, the annual oil wealth dividend checks are also being paired with energy relief payments for residents who apply. The $3,284 checks are scheduled to roll out starting this week through the start of October. $3,284 for everybody in Alaska. California, guys. Okay. Living in one of the most expensive states in the country means Californians are especially affected by bulging costs. Starting in October, millions of residents are going to get inflation relief checks, aka middle-class tax refund checks of up to $1,050. Those who make more than $250,000 or $500,000 as a couple do not qualify. It's California. Colorado. The Colorado Cashback Program is getting $750 tax rebates or $1,500 to joint filers to residents who filed their state taxes by June 30th by the end of the month. Those who received an extension and filed by October 17th will get their money by January 31st. Delaware, the Delaware Relief Rebate Program sent $300 stimulus checks, $600 for married couples, to state taxpayers who had filed 2020 personal income tax returns. Those were sent out starting at the end of May. Now, I have a question for you guys. Shout out to my man RG Titan. I got a question for you guys. How does this help if the Biden effect is that you've lost $4,200? Has any of these amounts been greater than $4,200? So my question is, how does this help then? What is this helping? Who is this helping? How is it helping? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not smashed the like button, take a moment. Please make sure that you guys smash the like button. Also, if you guys can, make sure that you guys share the video out. Look at the state of Florida. The state of Florida sent out payments of $450 per child to thousands of families, with most arriving by August 7th. The benefit was automatically sent to those who qualified, including those on welfare, were a foster parent or caregiver. Georgia. Those who filed state returns in both 2020 and 2021 received rebates from the Department of Revenue. Individuals got $250, heads of household got $375, and married people got $500 together. Again, how many of these amounts have been more than $4,200? How many of these amounts have been 4,200? And if none of these amounts are greater than 4,200, then how are they helping the effect? Hawaii. Tax rebates are being sent to residents who filed taxes in 2021. Depending on how much money you make and how many dependents you have, families could make up to $1,200. The payments are expected now through October. Idaho, every little bit helps. And Idaho taxpayers got $75 for themselves and each dependent, or 12% of their 2020 return, depending on which was more, starting in March. Those who still have questions about the payment can find out more here. Illinois, as part of a statewide relief package, a family of 4 can receive up to $300 in tax rebates this year. Checks are dependent on how much income people make. The state is also offering a temporary sales tax cut. So now here's my question. What is that? How is that helping anybody? If these amounts are not more than $4,200, how are they helping anybody? And again, where is this? These are tax rebates, which means that this is money that taxpayers already paid that they're getting back. Maine or Indiana. In this state, it doesn't matter how much you make. With the automatic taxpayer refund law, residents who pay taxes are getting $325 or $650 for married couples, and money should be coming by next month. Maine direct relief payments have been handed out to Maine taxpayers since July. those who filed their 2021 returns and make less than $100,000 or $200,000 for a couple get $850 one-time checks, $1,700 for a couple. So as you guys can see, all of these states that are listed are giving handouts, every single one of them. But now what I find fascinating is that this isn't the stuff that they call handouts. They don't call this handouts, but that's what this is. This is a handout. Massachusetts, excess revenue is being returned to taxpayers this year, which, again, if it's being returned to taxpayers, then that means that it was theirs to begin with. So, like, this isn't bonus money. Like, what you guys need to understand about this is that the net effect of this is zero. This is just money that the government would have extorted from people. Like, this is your money anyway. This is like if you take out $5,000 from your paycheck and put it into a flexible spending account, and then you spend $5,000. Like, that's what this is. And it goes down the line. So I don't think we need to read all of these, but the main focus of this is that the economy is so bad. What the states are doing is the states are attempting to accommodate. They're attempting to accommodate the economy, which is something that we said would happen. So now here's my question, ladies and gentlemen. How much does student loan forgiveness cost? What's the total? What's the total amount of money that the student loans cost? Does anybody have any estimate? What's your best guess? Student loan cost, how much? And if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys take a moment and smash that like button. Remember, we got to keep track of all this because this is all the money that the government said that they didn't have. Deneen says 10 billion. You guys agree with Deneen or you disagree? If you guys agree with Deneen, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Robb cheated. Robb cheated. Let's check this out real quick.
My campaign for president, I made a commitment. I made a commitment that would provide student debt relief. And I'm honoring that commitment today. Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced $20,000.
So
Amelia
now,
Sykes will be a fighter for us.
but remember, there's no money.
Sykes fought.
There's no money. So now all you have to do in order to ask about the whole no money thing, all you got to do is just get a pen and a pad and watch All Money Ain't Good Money and pay very close attention to who's spending what where. Biden loan forgiveness costs $400 billion. Now, here's my question. What is that doing for the economy? Is this helping the economy or is this hurting the economy? That's the question. How does this affect the economy? Where is this $400 billion going to come from? Is it going to come out of the clear blue sky? Who's paying for this $400 billion? Where's it coming from? So the people who are getting it back are the people funding it. So how does that, what does that net? And we're also going to look at the effect that this is going to have on businesses. That's a lot of tax dollars, man. $400 billion. How are they going to do that? And think about this. We just read off about 23 different tax refunds. How are they going to do this and give out those tax refunds? Just saying. Just saying. We just read off how many different state tax refunds? Now, where are they going to get the money from for this? Where's it coming from? Where is the money coming from? The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimated Monday that President Biden's attempt to forgive between $10,000 and $20,000 in student loan debt for millions of borrowers would cost taxpayers $400 billion, while another estimate indicated that the total cost could climb above $600 billion. How many people are happy about paying for that? If you guys are happy about paying for that, give me a thumbs up. If you're not happy about paying for that, give me a thumbs down. So now here's another question. Everybody that would receive this $10,000 help, is their tax dollars going to go towards giving somebody else $10,000? That's my question. So you're going to get $10,000, but you're also contributing to somebody else's $10,000. And not to mention, you got to contribute. You got to contribute to those tax refunds. How's that gonna? Where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Where is this all generated from? The money has to come from somewhere. So my question is, where is it coming from? That's the question. What is the logical answer to that question? Because there should be a very logical, answer, easy to derive answer. So where's the money going to come from? And when you got companies like Lyft, and we'll see there's hospitals that are laying off and the homeless crisis is out of control, where's the money coming from? That's the question. Biden last month said he would use emergency powers, look at this, triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic to set aside, look at this. Biden last month said he would use emergency powers triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic to set aside $10,000 in federally owned student debt per borrower making under $125,000 per year, or $20,000 per Pell Grant recipient with the same income. The CBO estimate will provide new impetus to legislators and some state officials who are exploring options to block the initiative on constitutional grounds. The budget office said in a memo that it estimates that the cost of student loans will increase by about an additional $400 billion in present value as a result of the action of canceling $10,000 of debt issued on or before June 30th of 2020 2022 for borrowers with income below specified limits, and an additional $10,000 for borrowers who also received at least one Pell Grant. So now my question is, what do you guys think about that? He sure did, Deneen. So now there's a lot of contradictions. There's a lot of contradictions here. And my thing is, I want the accurate information. I want to know where the money is coming from. I want to know where the money is going. I want to know who's going to be paying for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? In addition to the loan forgiveness, the CBO's estimated Biden's August decision to again defer payments and interest accrual on student loans through December would cost taxpayers another $20 billion. Another $20 billion. So it's pretty expensive having a Democrat as the president. It's pretty expensive having a Democrat majority government. So now here it says, in addition to the loan forgiveness, the CBO estimated Biden's August decision again to defer payments and interest accrual on student loans through December would cost taxpayers another $20 billion. Now, this is interesting, right? Here's another question for you guys. I want you guys to think really deep about this one. You ready for it? You guys ready? What did the Fed just do to interest rates? Did the Fed just increase the interest rate? So after you pay taxes and after your tax dollars fund your $10,000, what's the interest rate going to look like on the rest of your balance? Because the Fed just hiked it up. This isn't constitutional. A president just can't give away $400 billion, tweeted Representative Thomas Macy in response. Joe Biden isn't canceling student debt. He's just forcing us to pay for it, wrote Abigail Marone, a spokeswoman for Senator Josh Hawley. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget noted Monday that the CBO estimate did not take into account another part of Biden's plan that caps the amount borrowers must pay monthly on undergraduate loans at 5% of their earnings, down from the current 10%. The organizations estimated last month that the so-called income-driven repayment policy would cost taxpayers another $120 billion. Like, my man Hobb said, hey, yo, Rob, you making me sick, bro. I need a break. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this, people got to think about this stuff. So now here it says Monday, the CRFB estimated the cost of IDR at between $90 billion and $190 billion, driving the true cost to the U.S. over $500 billion on the low end and more than $600 billion on the high end. So now remember, you're only getting $10,000. So the rest of the money that you have to pay is gonna be paid out at that high interest rate that's at a 40-year high. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says this might be the most costly executive action in history. McGinnis added, it's unacceptable that the president would implement it without offsets and without congressional approval. Biden invoked emergency powers to authorize the loan forgiveness following a pressure campaign from the Democratic Party's left wing, which again, so now we're talking about the Democratic Party's left wing. I thought the Democrats were left wing. Shout out to Honda. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the Education Department's legal department cited a 2003 law that allows presidents to alleviate hardship for student loan recipients during a national emergency. So that's where that COVID thing comes from, which I find fascinating because why aren't they doing that in Flint, Michigan? Why aren't they doing that in Jackson, Mississippi? If they can do that at a federal level, then more than likely they have something like that that mirrors at the state level. So if they can use these executive actions for that kind of thing, then how come they're not using it for that? And I don't know if you guys know about this, but there's politicians that are looking to make fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. So I mean, again, like this is just the nonsensical nature of our government. Former President Donald Trump previously allowed borrowers to defer student loan payments because of the pandemic. However, Biden appeared to undercut his own justification for the handout earlier this month when he said in a 60 Minutes interview that, quote, the pandemic is over before any loans are actually forgiven. So now, again, we have to actually go back and investigate that. Is the pandemic actually over, or is that misinformation? And if that's misinformation, why is President Biden still allowed to tweet? That's the question. So there's this hospital in Detroit, and they're laying off a bunch of people. Now, why are they laying off all these people? Why is Lyft freezing hiring? You guys remember those articles that I did? You guys remember those articles that I did talking about Tesla and Elon Musk? Tesla said that they were going to slow down employment. Shout out to my man Ghost Walker. What up with it, bro? So now this is in Detroit. Beaumont Spectrum lays off 400 employees. The Beaumont Health and Spectrum Health system says it's cutting 400 jobs months after merging. Now, again, this is in healthcare. Jobs in healthcare are supposed to be safe. They're supposed to be economy proof. Not in Detroit. So now that we have some issues here because that doesn't fit what people say all the time. So how's that work? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please take a moment. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the backup channels, make sure you take a moment, subscribe to my other channels. In a statement on Friday, BHSH system says the decision was, quote, difficult and affects management and employees who do not work with patients. The health system has 64,000 team members. Our health system, like others around the nation, is facing significant financial pressures from historic inflation. Our health system, like others around the nation, is facing financial pressures from historic inflation. Rising pharmaceutical and labor costs, COVID-19, expiration of CARES Act funding and reimbursement not proportional with expenses. This is what this health system said. What does all that mean? Joining together as one health system places us in a stronger position to face these challenges while ensuring quality care for our communities for generations to come, the statement reads. Beaumont and Spectrum announced at the beginning of the year that they were merging, which officially launched on February 4th. So now what I find fascinating is they merged and they can't afford anything. Yeah, the gas went up about 60 cents nationwide yesterday. Because again, you know what we got going on. In Friday's statement, BHSH mentioned that it recruited around 10,000 people predominantly into open roles directly serving our patients and health plan members. We are grateful for the contributions and years of dedicated service provided by our impacted team members, and we are working to help them find employment within our health system and elsewhere. We remain deeply committed to caring for our team members in our community. As they lay people off. As they lay people off. So now, do you need a lift? Anybody in here need a lift? Just so you know, wait times might be higher than normal. Wait times may be higher than normal because Lyft is freezing all U.S. hiring amid stock slump and economic downturn. So did you think that you were going to get a job? You know what I'm saying? Making some extra money, some side hustle. You better try Uber Eats. Now, I'm kind of shocked about that because I thought companies like Lyft and companies like Uber, I thought that they were doing fairly good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that they were in this situation here. But they are. Now, here's my question. What is going on? That's the question. How is it that all of this is happening? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't believe that it's bad out here, if you guys don't believe that it's bad out here, just wait until you guys see the next Bad Girls Gone Worse. Bad Girls Gone Worse. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys like that Bad Girls Gone Worse series, but I think honestly that we're going to have to make a Bad Girls Gone Worse. All money ain't good money. Because the economy is so bad, it got motherfuckers out here doing this. She a small businesswoman selling sexy pictures online to save her bar. Just another bad girl gone worse. You know what I'm saying? So back to Lyft. You know what I'm saying? Something that Bra was doing. You know what I'm saying? Lyft freezes all U.S. hiring amid stock slump, economic downturn. Ride-sharing apps Lyft is freezing all hiring in the U.S. through the end of 2022, the Post has learned. The news comes amid a broader economic slump that has sent Lyft stock tumbling 68% this year. So if you had stock in Lyft, you lost 68% this year. Facts, SGR7. She was going to do that anyway. Facts. I bet you them old pictures too before the economy went bad. You know what I'm saying? Man, people balling out on OnlyFans, man. They balling out. OnlyFans need to write the new economic plan for the United States, for real, for real. Because if it's somebody that's not going out of business, it's OnlyFans. If it's one business that's thriving, it's OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? They doing AOT right now. You know what I'm saying? They not laying anybody off. Shit, I ain't never getting on OnlyFans. I heard you can make some good money on there, but I don't have nothing on. I don't have any OnlyFans content. You know what I'm saying? There's just nothing. I mean, unless somebody just want to watch these live streams that I do right here, but watch them on OnlyFans, you know what I'm saying? Like, which would be kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? You got all these, you know what I'm saying, butt naked women and, you know what I'm saying, body parts jiggling all over the place. And then you got my little audio emoji down there talking about the economy. Ain't nobody about to watch that shit on there. Rachel Dolezal opened up OnlyFans. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you, who's in violation worse? Rachel Dolezal or that transgender that was on that episode of Fox Soul with Cynthia G and Umar Johnson? Who's in violation worse? Rachel Dolezal or her? That's my question. who's in violation more? Dolezal slanging ass. Oh yeah, Dolezal slanging ass. You know she's slanging ass. You know what I'm saying? You know she's slanging ass. She's slinging that motherfucking. She's slinging that flapjack all over the place. AV Promotion says who my guy was. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says Rachel, because I saw a screenshot of what she's showing, and it's some Lizzo shit. Oh. The money, my man Ricky Jones says the money printing Fed is keeping the economy from collapsing. That's a fact. She probably look like a peeled potato naked. Who? Dolezal? Both, damn, the lesser of two evils. In fact, that's what I'm talking about, Mike. Like, yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. That's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker just made a whole career as a blackfish, and the other motherfucker had Umar Johnson saying, "My beautiful mother of the earth goddess." You mean your beautiful? You mean your handsome father? Your handsome father of the soil. You know what I'm saying? King goddess, King God. You know what I'm saying? Man. She came out with a video too, going in on Umar Johnson. That motherfucker said, King Kong consciousness ain't got shit on me. I was like, man, this is too much. Now, I ain't mad at Umar, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't think that he was like, I think that he was just being respectful. Like, Umar Johnson is one of those, you know what I'm saying? He's a Pan-African dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's he really pro-black dude. And, like, I think that, like, just like Umar and people like him, that is just the mannerism and the respect that they address all black women with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to take away from any black women who, you know what I'm saying, are beautiful and shit like that. I'm just saying, I think that comes along with his mannerism. So for people to be like kind of going in like, oh yeah, nigga, you suspect, like you're not being fair, in my opinion. Like, I know people don't like Umar. Some people do like Umar. I think that if people saying that, like, come on, like, y'all know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know that's how Umar would address any black woman. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think he was under the assumption that he was just addressing a black woman, and he was just being like his form of being respectful. And then she went and took it to the next extreme. Like, honestly, I think that's what I think was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, like, Fox News or Fox Soul was dead wrong for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, there's people out there like, yeah, nigga, you know, he was on a live stream and he said, what did he say on the live stream? They didn't tell me she was a surgically altered man. They didn't tell me, brothers and sisters, that she was a surgically altered man. I said they didn't tell me, brothers and sisters, that she was surgically altered. So you're saying that they didn't tell you. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think Umar is a real smart brother. I don't agree with all his views neither. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's a smart dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he said it. He said it. You know, Umar. He said it three times like Candyman and shit. You know what I'm saying? he said that shit 3 times like Candyman. I thought that basketball was gonna bust open. I said they didn't tell me, brothers and sisters, that it was a surgically altered man. They didn't tell me that he was a surgically altered man. I said they didn't tell me that he was surgically altered. And let's see, like, it just, you know, like, it's like that. Like I said, we had actually gone into that topic, and somebody had, I think it was Jay Bird, had asked a question about it, and I had gave, like, you know, my thoughts on that. I think that they was like that. To me, all of everything that came from that, I blame it all completely on Fox Soul. I blame it all completely on Fox Soul. They did that on purpose to get some viral moments. They didn't want anything constructive to come out of that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, like that was a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. You asked first of all, it's a woman's network. You asked the question, is there an attack on black men? You bring on Umar Johnson, Cynthia G, and a transgender. Like, you're just asking for, like, insanity. You're asking for a Royal Rumble. You're not looking for no solutions, or you're looking for entertainment. They did that shit to get a viral moment, hoping that their asses would be on World Star Hip Hop or something like that. They was hoping that Cynthia G and Umar Johnson would get into a shouting match, and, you know what I'm saying, and the transgender would, you know what I'm saying, just, I don't know, tell Umar, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly still don't even understand the point of the transgender being there. But they weren't looking for what they're saying that they were looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were looking for fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly, RG Titan. I agree. What's even more messed up is their agenda to have a TS speak for sisters, and that's foul. Yeah, I agree. And to me, like, that to me is something that I would have thought that, like, Cynthia G and Umar Johnson would have kind of been on the same page about, you know. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I don't know, you know, it is what it is. Umar Johnson probably was dealing with a lot, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got me on here with Umar Johnson was probably overwhelmed. Like, damn, you got me on here with Cynthia G. I'm already getting attacked, you know what I'm saying? And then you got me on here with this angry, man-hating transgender motherfucker. Like, goddamn. Do I at least get a gun or a knife or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. do I get some cheat codes? Shit. I'd have been like, wait a minute, you gotta give me about a half hour. I gotta come back. We gotta start the show late. Like, I wasn't ready for all this now. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I came on here for a damn debate. You know what I'm saying? Not for a motherfucking not for a battle royal and shit. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Unknown Gamer. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Yeah, that's crazy though. So now here it says Lyft spokeswoman Ashley Adams confirmed the hiring freeze in a statement to the Post. Like many other companies navigating an uncertain economy, we are pausing hiring for all US-based roles through the end of the year. Shit, that's 3 months. So Lyft is not going to be hiring for 3 months through the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. So now here it says, after the Post reported the hiring freeze, Lyft shares fell 3.8% in aftermarket trading. Excuse me. Lyft started notifying job candidates of the hiring freeze this week. The Wall Street Journal reported in May that Lyft was slowing hiring and slashing some departments' budget, but the full hiring freeze has not been previously reported. Lyft also laid off 60 employees in July, TechCrunch reported. So now remember what I was telling you guys earlier this year about the hiring freezes. And remember, they're doing that hiring freeze. Somebody had put it in the comments earlier to quantitatively ease. To quantitatively ease. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of what the stock market has been looking like, but man, listen. The stock market has wiped out $9 trillion from America's wealth. Stock market losses, or I'm sorry, stock market losses wipe out $9 trillion from Americans' wealth. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Who's suffering from this? That's the question. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Who is it that's suffering from this? Give me an idea. Who do you guys think is suffering from this right here? Oh, you said Umar Spider Sense is off. Yeah. See, Donna's on it. 401k is definitely something that could be hit. People's retirement funds. Absolutely. Shout out to my man AJ. People with pensions. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking of, people just spending money in the stock market. I'm thinking of people who actually need that money. And I got to agree with Ghostwalker. Everybody. So now you lost $9 trillion from American wealth, right? If you have money in a 401k or something like that. On top of that, there's the interest rate hikes. On top of that, there's the slowing of wages. And on top of that, there's inflation. And on top of that, there's all of the taxes that are going to come later to pay back all of these stimuluses that the government is paying off. Where are we headed is the question. That's the point that I want to drive home. Where are we headed, guys? What are we headed into? Stock market losses wipe out $9 trillion from America's wealth. Americans' holding of corporate equities and mutual fund shares fell to $33 trillion at the end of the second quarter, which is down from $42 trillion at the start of the year, with major market indexes falling further since July. Experts say losses from financial markets could total $9.5 trillion to $10 trillion. Economists say the drops could add pressure to Americans' balance sheet and possibly hurt spending. So let's check this out real quick. Let's see what's going on here on this video. Let me see. Looks like we got an ad coming. And of course, this ad is 12 seconds. So if you guys haven't smashed the like button, take a moment. Make sure that you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that bell icon. Let's see.
Pain as stocks sold off. You're not alone. Stock market losses this year have cut American wealth by nearly $10 trillion. Robert Frank has some more on that for us this morning. Hey, Robert.
Good morning, Carl. Well, from 401ks to family offices, shareholders have lost trillions in dollars of wealth this year from those market declines. New data from the Federal Reserve showing that the value of Americans' holdings of corporate equities and mutual fund shares falling by $9.2 trillion. That's as of July 1st. You add in the declines since that time, probably brings it close to the $10 trillion mark. Now, the top, they have lost the most since they own the most stocks. The top 10% of Americans saw their stock wealth drop by over $8 trillion this year. The top 1% losing $5 trillion in stock wealth. That's about a 20% drop, in keeping with the market. Rising home prices have helped a bit, but not nearly enough to offset the stock wealth declines.
Real quick, shout out to Robert Taylor. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Glad to have you. Everybody drop some radiation emojis. Tell Robert Taylor welcome.
Estate holdings up $3 trillion this year. That's less than a third the value of the stock losses. And the big question is when this negative wealth from stocks starts to affect the consumer spending of the wealthy. The total wealth of the top 10% still up $9 trillion since 2019.
Remember that? Wealth of top 10% of the United States. Now, since COVID, the top 10% of the United States wealth has went up. What does that mean? What that means is that during COVID, when everybody else was struggling economically, the rich got richer. The rich got richer during C-19. The Guardian came out with an article about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all of these people. Completely, their dollar amounts increased astronomically during COVID-19. Astronomically. Absolutely, Cameron. Money was moved upwards. So there was a small group of people that really benefited from the C-19 crisis. And as you guys saw in that video that I just did on the C-19 channel, y'all saw how Governor Kathy Hochul helped her friend out. You guys saw that. Those are the kind of little deals that those politicians are doing for people all the time. Look at what happened. Look at the Brett Favre situation.
Before the pandemic, so that financial cushion is still large, D, but it is shrinking fast.
So let me see. Falling gas and house prices give us confidence. Look at this. Now see, they're about to put this nonsense up here. We already know that none of these prices are falling. You know what I'm saying? Honda 666 just said that this morning the gas was up 50 cents, which if there's articles out there on the internet, if you guys look them up, the gas prices just shot up again, literally like overnight. You know what I'm saying? Falling stock markets have wiped out more than $9 trillion in wealth from U.S. households, putting more pressure on family balance sheets and spending. Americans' holdings of corporate equities and mutual fund shares fell to $33 trillion at the end of the second quarter, down from $42 trillion at the start of the year, according to data from the Federal Reserve, with major market indexes falling even further since early July, and the bond market adding further losses. Market experts say the current wealth losses from financial markets could total $9.5 trillion to $10 trillion. That's a lot of money. So now my thing is, people might want to pay close attention to their 401ks and offset it with some other kind of investment. Right, AV. Right, exactly. And then the Somali woman buys a Porsche for like, what was that, $93,250? Economists say that the drops could start rippling through the economy, adding pressure to Americans' balance sheets and possibly hurting spending, borrowing, and investing. Now, I'll tell you what's going to hurt borrowing: the interest rate hikes. That's what's going to slow down borrowing. Mark Zandi, chief economist of Moody's Analytics, said the losses could reduce real GDP growth by nearly 0.2 percentage points over the coming year. And remember, a reduction in GDP growth, that is an indication of a future recession. That's an indication of a future recession. So now here it says the loss of stock wealth suffered to date, if sustained, will be small, but a meaningful headwind to consumer spending and economic growth in coming months, Zandi said. The wealthy are bearing the largest losses since they own an outsized share of stocks. The top 10% of Americans have lost over $8 trillion in the stock market wealth this year, which marks a 22% decline in their stock wealth, according to the Federal Reserve. The top 1% have lost over $5 trillion in the stock market wealth. The bottom 50% have lost about $70 billion in stock wealth, which is a larger portion of their money. That's their retirement money. When we're talking about the bottom 50%, this isn't just money they have sitting in an account somewhere. That's their retirements. That's their retirement. The losses mark a massive and sudden reversal for shareholders who saw record wealth creation from soaring stocks since the pandemic. From the market lows of 2020 to the peak at the end of 2021, America's stock wealth nearly doubled. You guys see that? From 22 trillion to 42 trillion. The bulk of that wealth went to those at the top, since the wealthiest 10% of Americans own 89% of individually held stocks. So if you want to know who owns most of the stocks, there you go. The wealth. Now, let me ask you guys a question. This is an important sentence right here. From 22 trillion to 42 trillion, okay, during the pandemic. The losses mark a massive and sudden reversal for shareholders who saw record wealth creation from soaring stocks since the pandemic. So stocks were soaring and the rich were getting richer during the pandemic, okay? Now, the rich getting richer during the pandemic. My question for everybody in the comment section is, what did that do for the racial wealth gap? That's my question. How did that affect the racial wealth gap? What did that do to the racial wealth gap? If the rich got richer during the pandemic, what was the effect on the racial wealth gap? Is there one? Wider than ever. Facts. That racial wealth gap is looking like a pair of granny panties on Lizzo. You know what I'm saying? That's what that shit looking like. So the wealthiest 10% of Americans also own 89% of the individually held stocks. So since the wealthiest 10% of Americans hold that 89% of stocks, that's locked in. That's locked in. So those people do not have to release that 80% of those 89% of those stocks. So now, see, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. With stocks declining and with those at the top bearing most of the losses, wealth inequity has fallen slightly this year. Now, it didn't fall because of any initiative other than the economy being bad. Mind you, the only reason why wealth inequality has fallen is because of the declining stocks, which is a result of bad monetary policy. It's not because there was any initiative done to specifically address that issue by generating wealth for the people at the bottom. This was just a trickle-down effect. So now one of the things that you're going to hear Democrats and one of the things that you're going to hear Biden say is that wealth inequality dropped. Yeah, wealth inequality dropped as a result of the economy tanking. You know what I'm saying? Wealth inequality dropped as a result of the economy tanking. It didn't drop because of any just amazing genius Democrat policy or anything like that. It happened because of bad money management. That's why. That's what people need to understand. That's huge. That's important. Because they will try to use that as a talking point. Well, you know, we reduced the wealth inequality. Okay. First of all, that has nothing to do with the specific black-white wealth gap. And second of all, that's a trickle-down effect because of bad money management that hurt us elsewhere. In facts, I agree with AB. We should all know by now that it's by design. Big facts. If you guys agree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. I agree with that. So now here it says the top 1% owned 31% of the nation's household wealth at the end of the second quarter, which was down from 32.3% in the beginning of the year. The share of wealth held by the top 10% slipped. Oh, what? Get this. Get ready for it. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. From 69 to 68%. They really took a hit, didn't they? While Americans have gained wealth from rising house prices, the gains have been more than offset by stock market losses. America's housing wealth rose by $3 trillion in the first half of the year to $41 trillion. The gain is only about a third of the amount lost in the stock market. Yet, with rising mortgage rates, home prices have started to decline or cool in many markets. One of those markets where the home prices have declined is in San Diego. Well, Michael Jackson said they don't really care about us. Facts. Big facts. The drop in stock wealth also far exceeds the $6 trillion in quarterly stock losses during the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. While stock markets have seen larger drops on a percentage basis, in this year's stock losses are among the largest ever on a dollar basis. Remember, for the most part, everything, including temperatures in some parts of the world, are at 40-year highs. Gas prices, 40-year highs. Gold, 40-year highs. Temperatures in Britain, 40-year highs. Everything is at a 40-year high. You know what I'm saying? The big question is how much the stock declines will impact consumer spending, which, if consumers are smart, while the stocks and investments and assets are declining, it might not be a bad idea to look at them and study their charts and see which ones you think might bounce back the strongest. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you always want to be on the opposite end of declines and on the right end of increases. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to try to do. You want to try to study the investments, try to study the markets, and make sure that anytime the market is moving up, you can benefit from it, and make sure that you're far away from it when the market is moving down. You know what I'm saying? So far, there are few signs that affluent consumers have cut their spending. Yet some say the negative wealth effect, the theory that wealth declines lead to spending declines, could soon start to bite, especially if the market decline continues. Zandy said lost stock wealth in the U.S. could result in consumer spending. Could reduce consumer spending by $54 billion in the coming year. He added that the stock wealth effect is smaller than in the past, since the wealthy own such a large share of stocks and have substantial excess savings built up during the pandemic. Yeah. Since their saving cushion is so large, they won't feel as compelled to save more given the decline in their stock wealth, he said, which again, they can afford the decline in their stock wealth. They have, billions, trillions of dollars that they can fall back on. The average person doesn't have that. And what you're looking at now is the average person is actually in danger of losing their 401k, losing their pension as a result of all of this stock market going down. So now my question is, who knows what a bear market is? Because that's what we're dealing with right now. And currently the Dow Jones is in a bear market. Now, the question is, what is a bear market? What does that mean? We've talked about that before. We talked about that on the Tales from the Cryptocurrency channel. What does a bear market mean? Somebody give me what a bear market means. What's the definition of a bear market? Anybody know? The Dow is in a bear market. What does that mean? Facts. Facts. Why? It's the same thing as looking at clearance at the store. The prices have fallen. The value has decreased. I was going to buy this 32-inch TV, but it cost $500. Now when I came back to the store, it's only $250. So I'm going to buy it. Clearance time in the market. The values have decreased. So now here it says the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is the oldest of Wall Street's three main stock indexes, dropped 1.1% on Monday, extending the decline from its January peak to more than 20%, meeting a common definition for a bear market. Okay. So that right there is along the lines of what Carlton said. When stock prices are falling for 2 quarters, and Deneen and Inwolf also, when stock prices drop at least 20%, stock loses value by 20%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, the oldest of Wall Street, three main stock indexes, dropped 1.1% on Monday, extending the decline from its January peak to more than 20%, meeting a common definition for bear market. Worries that the Federal Reserve's war against decade-high inflation is pushing the U.S. economy into a downturn have sent the U.S. stock market tumbling in 2022. And the U.S. stock market is not the only market that has gone tumbling. The crypto market has tumbled as well. You know, you can get some good prices on some Ethereum right now. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, Bitcoin has been around. It's if you catch it at the right times, it's been under 19,000 in the last couple of days. Bitcoin has. So now here it says with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ already down some 23 and 32% respectively from their record highs, confirmation that the Dow is also in a bear market is just the latest milestone in 2022's market turmoil. So again, we're dealing with market turmoil. And remember, guys, we talked about this way back at the beginning of the Ukraine series. We talked about all of this stuff way back at the beginning in the Ukraine series. You know what I'm saying? Now what we're doing is we're just seeing everything play out. And it is indeed, it's playing out. It's playing out exactly how we expected it to, which is not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just not bad for, you know, predictions. Not bad for accuracy. So now here it says, while the Dow with only 30 large cap companies is a much narrower index than the other two is, historically, the one Main Street watches the most closely. On Wall Street, the terms bull and bear markets are often used to characterize broad upward or downward trends in asset prices. Many investors use the terms loosely, and analysts don't always share the same specific definitions, particularly about when to call the end of a bear market. All right. Indeed, for professionals, these are just labels that are less important than the fundamentals like company earnings and valuations, interest rates, and economic conditions. So now in this bear market that we're in, what do you think is the biggest issue out of everything that we just read? What's the biggest issue, guys? If you ask me, the economic conditions that we're dealing with now is more than likely the biggest issue. Because the economy is very volatile. And we also have some issues going on overseas as far as dealing with China, as far as dealing with Russia, as far as Ukraine, as far as Taiwan. And also there's the what do you call that? the trade war. We're still in a trade war with China. So, you got sanctions and tariffs and all this nonsense going on. Kelly says, should I buy stock, fellas? Now, that's what do you guys think? I think that you should do some research. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I think that you should do some research on what it is, on what kind of investment strategy that you want to do, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't buy stocks. So now here it says some investors define a bear market specifically as a decline of at least 20% in a stock or index from its previous peak, with the peak defining the beginning of the bear market, which is only recognized in hindsight following the 20% decline. All right. So the bear markets and the bull markets are snapshots. They're snapshots at a point in time. You know what I'm saying? Similarly, some define a bull market as a 20% rise from a previous low. However, S&P Dow Jones indices, which administers the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average, has an even more nuanced definition. A drop of 20% or more from a high, followed by a 20% gain from that lower level, would leave an index still below its previous peak, a situation S&P Dow Jones Indices senior indexed analyst Howard Silverblatt describes as a bull rally in a bear market. Indeed, investors can only be sure they are in a new bull market once a new record high has been reached. And at that point, the previous low would mark the end of the bear market and the beginning of the new bull market, according to S&P Dow Jones indices. All right. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that helps you guys understand the behaviors of how the actual economic changes that we're dealing with are actually influencing the market, because they are. All of this stuff is working together in tandem. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff is working together in tandem. So now what's even more interesting is that San Diego County is one of the places in the United States that has a decreasing real estate price. Their house prices are going down, which, I mean, that's nice and all, but they also have a homelessness problem. And San Diego County is supposed to declare homelessness a public health crisis. That's how bad it's getting out there, y'all. That's how bad it's getting out in California. What do you guys think about that? If you guys were aware that in San Diego they were declaring homelessness a public health crisis, give me a thumbs up. If you did not know that, give me a thumbs down. But this is what we're looking at. San Diego County is supposed to declare homelessness a public health crisis. That's wild. San Diego County supervisors will consider a proposal Tuesday to declare homelessness a public health crisis. Now, here's my question. If San Diego can declare homelessness a public health crisis, why is it that still no crisis has been declared for Jacksonville? Or I'm sorry, for Jackson, Mississippi? Let me ask you guys something. Does everybody in here agree that Jackson is dealing with a crisis? If you guys agree that Jackson is dealing with a crisis, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not agree that Jackson is dealing with a crisis, give me a thumbs down. If you ask me, not having drinkable water, that's a crisis. Now, am I saying that homelessness isn't? No. Did I say that homelessness shouldn't be considered a public health crisis? No. I'm asking the same thing that I've been asking. Why hasn't Jackson been considered a crisis yet? And I got to agree with RG Titan. Got to agree with RG Titan. If you guys agree with RG Titan, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. San Diego County supervisors will consider a proposal Tuesday to declare homelessness a public health crisis, a move intended to elevate the region's response to the growing number of people living without shelter. So now remember, in New York, what they're doing is they're thinking about putting immigrants in luxury boats, cruise liners. So just remember that. Yeah, and I gotta agree with Ghostwalker. Like 30 of 50 states are in crisis mode right now. Homeless has always been a health crisis. I agree, Mike. County Chair Nathan Fletcher and Supervisor Nora Vargas said the first-time declaration would bring attention to the mental and physical health of homeless people, with the county working with all 18 cities in a collaborative approach towards solutions. The reality is that for far too long, county government didn't have any skin in the game, Fletcher said at a Monday morning press conference outside the county administration center. They weren't active participants in helping our region tackle the issue of homelessness, and that has changed. Fletcher and Vargas said the designation will make homelessness a top priority in the county, but it won't make the county eligible for additional funds. Now, why not? Why wouldn't the county be eligible for additional funds? My question is, if there's no benefit to designating a homeless crisis, or why even take that extra step then? Does that make any sense? If that makes any sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense, give me a thumbs down. My question is, what do you get for making it a public health crisis if you don't get any funds? That's usually the whole point. The countrywide count of homeless people conducted in February found 8,427 people were unhoused, and more than half were living without shelter. So in San Diego, now mind you, this is just in San Diego County. This isn't like in LA or like the entire state of California. This is just in San Diego County. In San Diego County, the countywide count of homeless people conducted in February found 8,427 people were unhoused, and more than half were living without shelter. While the city of San Diego has opened more shelters since then, there often are few beds available. Now, I got a question. Do you guys think that it's because those beds are being used for something else? And if that's what you think, what is it that you think that those other beds may be being used for? While the city of San Diego has opened more shelters since then, there often are few beds available. The declaration is important, the supervisor said, because it focuses on addressing the health problems faced by so many of the people who are homeless. Data from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness found 14% of homeless people have chronic health conditions, 18% have mental health conditions, 12% have physical disabilities, 13% have substance use disorders, and about 25% are 55% and older. Now, 18% having those mental health conditions, how many of those people do you guys think are a lot of the people that we see arrested for those AAPI hate crimes? That's my question. How many of those people do you guys think are those people that you see getting arrested for the AAPI hate crimes, the mental health ones? So now here it says homeless people are also twice as likely to have diabetes and almost twice as likely to have high blood pressure or a heart attack. The homeless community was hit hard by a hepatitis A outbreak in 2017 and a Shigella outbreak last year. So they are also dealing with pandemics. They're dealing with diseases. Shout out to Carla Lockhart. What up with it, Carla? Going forward, Vargas said she would like the county to create an online dashboard that would track the region's progress towards homeless solutions and to help cities have access to grants. We have a lot of community partners who are doing great work already, but what that does is give us an opportunity to come together and elevate the work in a way that hasn't been done before through a regional lens, she says. Among elected officials joining Fletcher and Vargas were Lemon Grove Mayor Rachel Vasquez, San Diego City Council member Stephen Whitburn, and Imperial Beach Council member Palmoa Aguirre. So now, what kind of names do these sound like? Vargas, Vasquez, Aguirre. So you already know where a lot of the concentration for a lot of these efforts is going to go. And we'll be talking about that. If I'm not able to do it today, we'll definitely be talking about it tomorrow. Yeah. If you guys agree with Carlton and Kelly, give me a thumbs up. Hispanic and Latino. Now, we're actually going to dive deep into that entire thing because I think that there's some important things when it comes to that particular issue there that we should discuss. I think there's some things with that particular thing that we definitely should discuss. Things with voting, things that are going on as far as things being switched around. People really need to pay very close attention to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of weird stuff going on with politics. Okay. Now, why are we talking about this? Remember, because all money ain't good money. And what do we do on all money ain't good money? What's the purpose of all money ain't good money? This is a running tab of how much the United States decides to spend. So anytime anybody says, oh, we don't have money, all you got to do is just send them the link to the All Money Ain't Good Money playlist and tell them pick an episode because we talk about billions of dollars wasted in each one. Regional Task Force on Homeless President and CEO Tamara Kohler, also at the event, said healthcare is connected to ending homelessness. Now, this right here, what I want you guys to pay very close attention to is how many people saw All Money Ain't Good Money Platinum? If you guys saw the last All Money Ain't Good Money Platinum, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't, give me a thumbs down. Do you guys recall the Latino organization in Chicago that wants to give health care to all the undocumented immigrants? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. This is in California. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. So what I'd advise everybody to do, most of the people that are members on this channel are members on Blacklight Revelations 1. Check out the All Money Ain't Good Money Platinum series on Blacklight Revelations 1. The most recent one about Ron DeSantis. That's an important one to watch. All right, Ghost Walker, take it easy, bro. Good to see you as always. This is the same thing that they're doing, but they're doing it for homeless people. Now, my question is, what percentage of these homeless people do you think are black? That's the question. Remember when we looked at that organization and we saw the people that were running it, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. Damn, these are all Latinos and Asians. Now, these names sound very Latino. So what kind of homeless people do you think, again, make up the majority of this? More than likely, like Carlton and Kelly said, Latino. So now here it says, this work of addressing homelessness is about people, she said. Last night, I know far too many people spent the night not in their own bed, but on the street, in their cars. Unfortunately, more are in shelters than we've seen in a long time. Shortly after the press conference with Fletcher and Vargas, county supervisors Joel Anderson and Tara Lawson Rimmer joined Kohler at the Gary and Mary West Senior Wellness Center a few blocks away to discuss details about a rental subsidy program that will go before the board on Tuesday. Supervisors will consider creating a $3 million pilot program aimed at preventing homelessness for 228 seniors over 18 months. We're talking specific dollar amounts, specific people. Specific dollar amounts, specific people. One year ago, Serving Seniors released a senior homeless needs assessment that found more than half the people interviewed said an additional $300 a month would increase their rent stability. The Board of Supervisors in February directed the Chief Administrative Officer to return to the board with a plan to create a subsidy program in response to the report. You see how that works? Now, why is that happening? Now, let me ask you guys a question. I want you guys to tally this up. How much money have we talked about today? Just in this video. How much money have we talked about today? Quite a bit, right? We talked about quite a bit of money today. Now, if you add all that money that we talked about today together, you have to ask yourself, now, how is it that there's none for us when we ask about money? Where's it go to? Wolf says 100 trillion estimated. That sounds about right. So now I got a question for you. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, I don't believe in money. And I get it. Now, my question is, if you don't believe in money, how do you explain the racial wealth gap? What comprises the racial wealth gap? And the problem is that the racial wealth gap is written in dollars. And I agree, it is all based on an idea. But my question is, how does that articulate into a reparations conversation? I believe we're owed XYZ. The only problem is that XYZ doesn't exist. So now how does that work? Let's take dollars out of our vocabulary. How do you articulate the racial wealth gap in reparations? And then my question is, then what's owed? Land and resources. Now my question is, what will be the measurement of the land and resources? How would they be valued? What would the unit of measurement be? And how would we compare that unit of measurement to what we were locked out of? Because I agree that the whole financial system is just a concept, but the problem is that it's the most standardized concept to articulate value of assets. So my question would be, if we took money out of the vocabulary, if we took money out of the conversation, how would you articulate that accurately with the appropriate valuation? What was that movie? Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, that happened in that one movie with Eddie Murphy. What was it? Was that Trading Places when that happened? Yep. Yeah, I did a video about that. I want to say like maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah. 12 billion more for Ukraine. BBC put out an article about that. 12 billion more dollars. It was approved by that Secretary of Defense. I forget what his name is. So now look at this. The proposal going before the board Tuesday would set aside $2.9 million through fiscal year 2024 and 2025 to provide $500 a month to 220 seniors who will also receive light case management services. So they're setting this money aside for homeless people. And that's true, Cameron. Currency doesn't have to be money. So now here's more money going out at the state level in California. Now look at how difficult of a time the reparations task force is having in California. Now, do you guys notice how nothing like that is going on here with this? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why isn't it? Think about that. They said that they had a report, and with that report, after they turn the report in, now they can just go ahead and do their thing, pay out all the money. They're giving out all of this money, man. Like, I can't even keep up with the amounts of money that are being given out. But if I could, you guys wouldn't believe it. You guys would not believe it. So now, like, what's interesting about this is no studies. Oh yeah, the whole monetary system is quantitatively easing. Cameron, I agree. I've actually said that before. I talked about the quantitative easing. That's what they're doing with playing with the employment numbers. the gold, the silver, playing with the interest rate, all of that shit. Monetary policy is basically quantitative easing. Foreign policy is basically quantitative easing. All of that shit is quantitative easing. Anytime you artificially alter the quantity of the money, you know what I'm saying, that you're quantitatively easing. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says eligible recipients who will be chosen later will include heads of household 55 or older whose income is 50% below the area median income and who are severely rent burdened, meaning 50% of their income goes towards housing costs. For heads of household who are 60 and older, income must be 30% below the median income. So now remember, this is out in California, so these amounts are going to be a lot of money. This is out in California, so these amounts are going to be bigger amounts than they would be if they were anywhere else in the United States. Serving Seniors President and CEO Paul Downey, also at the Gary and Mary West Wellness Center, said a relatively modest investment to keep seniors housed will be much less than the cost of providing them shelter if they become homeless. So, like, if you pay very close attention to the rhetoric, you know what I'm saying, they're making up excuses to give away money for this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sari Lynn. What up with it, Sari? They're making up excuses to just give away dollars. You know what I'm saying? But then when it comes to us, they don't have any money. Where's the money? I mean, again, all you gotta do is just take a look at any one of the All Money Ain't Good Money videos. Take a look at any one of them. We've got dollar amounts, we've got states, federal, local, state. You know what I'm saying? So the money is there. This is a big deal when it comes to solving senior homelessness, he said. Anderson also called the program a cost-effective approach to helping seniors, and he said it is important to help people avoid homelessness whenever possible. What these programs are something that politicians put into place, and then they utilize companies that they're invested in to build the projects, and then those companies get revenue based on these projects, and then they give that revenue back to themselves. It's called a kickback. That's what they do. That's how politics works. Politics and business work hand in hand. And then you make laws to block out competition. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And see that right there, RG Titan, that's one of the reasons why it's important for us to make sure that we grow our platforms, because I'm gonna give you guys, I'm telling you guys, I got a lot of content to do. I wish I had more time today, because there's a lot of stuff going on that I haven't had a chance to go over that I want to show you guys, like this right here. I'm gonna show you guys something real quick before we get back to closing that article out. Look at this right here. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please take a moment and smash that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and help your boy out by hitting that bell. Look at that. Number of black primetime cable anchors shrinks amid concerns about CNN's new direction. What is CNN's new direction? Don Lemon's departure from the coveted evening hours leaves a glaring void of diversity among cable news networks. What does that mean? Is my question. What do you guys think? Yeah, and Ice Cube was right. And we've got the All Money Ain't Good Money series to back that up. So now anytime anybody's like, oh, you know, there's all you got to do is say, hey, just watch Black Light Revelations and look at All Money Ain't Good Money. All the money being spent. we're accounting for it. All of it. All the money that politicians help their friends get, like Brett Favre, we're accounting for it. Now, these are the kind of questions that politicians should have to answer for. Let me give Stacey Abrams a StreamYard link. Come on up here. Bring your pumpkin-shaped ass on up here and talk. I'll give you the whole floor. You know what I'm saying? Bring your jackass O'Lantern ass up here and talk. We'll listen. And I do believe that the Fox News Network is moving towards the CNN News Network is moving towards the Fox direction. Everything is moving that direction. These people are all jumping ship. Yeah, facts, AB. If they stop printing dollars, the economy will fail. Here's the problem. The United States as a whole is becoming more right-wing. Even Democrats are becoming more right-wing. The problem is that the black news anchors are so ultra ridiculously liberal that the things that they talk about on the news, not only does it turn off the white audience, but it's nothing that people in the United States or nothing that black people want to hear. Yeah, I do think so, Cindy. And the reason why I think so, to me, it appears, right? It appears that things are becoming more liberal, but that's an appearance. And the reason why it appears that way is because liberal media, for the most part, owns everything: tech, media, radio, Hollywood, sports. So everything that you're bombarded with is liberal propaganda. But when you actually have a conversation in your daily life, most people don't agree with that stuff. Most people don't agree with all of the whole LGBTQ stuff and all of that stuff. There wouldn't, in my opinion, there wouldn't be so many content creators and independent news outlets that had a problem with it if the mainstream media was accurate. And I agree, Sari. Where's the tears for the people in Jackson? Facts. And if you ask me, in my opinion, the average normal person sounds right wing because the Democrats have gone so far to the left that anybody that just says if you simply say a man is a man and a woman is a woman, you sound right wing now. Like that, you are now right wing if you believe that men are men and women are women. It's that bad. Because the left is so extreme left. So now anybody that you listen to, in my opinion, they sound slightly right wing. And the reason why they sound so slightly right wing is because the left is so extremely left. You know what I'm saying? And right. And another piece of evidence that backs up what I'm saying, Cindy, is look at the elections. You know what I'm saying? The media can push these Democrat candidates and they can push these Democrat agendas and this liberal stuff as much as they want to, but look at how the Democrats are getting spanked everywhere. Yeah. Anytime you say something, I'm nowhere near a conservative, but I sound conservative. And I sound conservative because just the accepted Democrat nonsense is just so insane. If I'm like, okay, You're born a boy, period, or you're born a girl, period. Oh my God, this is just propaganda from the far right. Not really. It's really not. I can actually prove it with my birth certificate. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. That's how extreme the left has become. Yeah, they'll say that, and they say it all the time. They'll say we're Republicans and shit like that. It's like, yeah, not really. That's what Tiffany Cross and them were up there doing, trying to do all that shit with bringing up Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, not at all. You clearly have not listened to any of my content on YouTube, or you know what I'm saying? Like anybody who says any of the kind of things similar to things that I say. You know what I mean? What it is that those people are stuck in a paradigm. You know what I'm saying? They're stuck in a paradigm of only being able to deal with bipartisan politics, left and right. There's never really been any true moderate anything. It's just an illusion. Like all this shit is just an illusion. And that's why you can see CNN make that swing. Because it's like, okay, we got to do what we got to do to make money, and people are not feeling this nonsense here. They're not feeling this insanity of, you know what I'm saying, like teachers in Canada that are men that have giant boobs pasted on that they're not supposed to have. And yeah, Kevin Samuels, he would say a little bit of shit here and there about politics, but Kevin Samuels wasn't no political content creator. You know what I'm saying? You know, he would say his little shit, but I mean, yeah. Now, exactly, Cindy. Now, Trump, I mean, Ice Cube said, I'll talk to Trump and I'll talk to Biden. Somehow that makes you a Republican. If you say that you'll talk, now he said he talked to Biden, but somehow that didn't make him a Democrat. It made him a Republican. Notice how Fox ignored him and CNN tried to drag him. See, that's what you got to pay attention to. Pay attention to what conservatives aren't saying and pay attention to what Democrats are saying. Pay very close attention to how no conservatives really give a fuck about trying to pick up the black voter block, despite the fact that it's been out there that Democrat support has been cratering since the 1980s for Democrats. You would think that right now at this juncture, it'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could, say this and say that. Me and TD, as a matter of fact, we just had this conversation last night. You know what I'm saying? Where is the support? The right calls us free thinkers if we act like Herschel Walker, which is fascinating because Herschel Walker is not even capable of thought, literacy, arithmetic, and cursive writing, but, whatever. And the left calls us wrong if we think like Ice Cube. Facts. Super facts. Super duper facts. So basically, the left calls us wrong if we're free thinkers, but the right calls us free thinkers if we think like we got in a head-on accident with a semi-truck with our face at full speed, like Herschel Walker. So for a black person to be a free thinker in Republican terms, you have to operate as if you have either a brain bleed or a closed head injury, like Herschel Walker. So right there, that tells you that there's no political party that's going to work for us. And now that's by design. Pay very close attention to it. Now, the thing that I find fascinating is that everybody is using the get on the Hispanic people train to drown out anything that's going on with black people. Fox just came out with this article talking about Mayra Flores. Now, if you guys recall, on this channel here, I talked about Mayra Flores months ago. But now Fox is giving her more of a boost. And the reason why Fox is giving her more of a boost is to divert the attention away from the cratering support that black people have for the Democrats. Because that kills all of their narratives. They can't use that liberal bullshit and Marxist bull, all that dumbass shit, the whole BLM shit. You know, they can't use any of that shit anymore. They can't play their little war games anymore. Yep, facts. Super facts. Remember, PC removed black men out of the Republican Party eons ago because they didn't or couldn't see themselves under the thumb or leadership of black men. Facts. Democrats sent my hubby a text about supporting voting rights. He responded, vote against black genocide. Stop passing everything gay that kills our reproduction and population. They said we'll remove you from our list. Damn, they did a Jen Psaki, huh? I won't be circling back this time. Oh, but speaking of Jen Psaki, you know what I'm saying? That's a bad girl gone really bad. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can find this shit. Oh, I can't find that damn article. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can find this shit. I can't find that article. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Oh, where is that shit at? Hold on. It's got to be up here. Did you guys hear what Jen Psaki said? If you guys heard what she said, give me a thumbs up. Where is that shit at? I'm about to see if I oh, here it is. Here it is right here. I got it right here. Look at this. Speaking of Democrats, and this is a stream again that we're going to be doing soon. Look at this right here. This is your girl Jen Psaki. Ain't no circle back, girl. You know what I'm saying? Hold on real quick. Check this out. Ain't no circle back, girl. She said the Democrats are doomed. Oh, man, that's a cold-blooded motherfucker, man. They said redheads don't have no soul.
I think that Democrats, if the election is about who is the most extreme, as we saw, Kevin McCarthy touch on there with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll say her name, sitting over his left side, then they're going to win. Mm-hmm. If it is a referendum on the president, they will lose, and they know that.
Man, look at Biden's approval rating. He's at 39%. He's at 39%. I dare this motherfucker to say, if you don't approve of me, you ain't black. Motherfucker, if you approve of Biden, you're not American. How about that? Shit. If you don't approve of me, you ain't black. Motherfucker, if you do approve of Biden, you cannot be American. Your approval rating is only 39%. Biden and all the Democrats are failing. Carla, you said you think that's why she got out. Yeah, that's it. 39%. %. And you're probably right, Cameron. I really, I really would hope that that's not the case, but if you guys agree with Cameron, if you guys think that Cameron is right, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. I gotta agree with Cameron. I hate to say this, but based on that last stream that we did talking about Stacey Abrams, and it showed all of those disappointing levels of support that she has, like, I gotta agree with Cameron. Like that's probably it. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure that you guys smash the like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and make sure that you guys hit that bell icon twice. I gotta agree with Cameron. So now here it says Anderson also called the program a cost-effective approach to helping seniors, and he said it is important to help people avoid homelessness whenever possible. You think? Kohler said the most recent count of homeless people in the county found about a quarter of them were 55 or older, and half said that they were homeless for the first time. The oldest person in the count was an 87-year-old man who was living in his vehicle and said he became homeless because of, quote, economic reasons following a health crisis, she said. Lawson Rimmer said the subsidy program is the county's first dedicated to seniors. The cost of gas and housing are rising for all of us. Now, there we go. This article is acknowledging the economic effects that we're dealing with. And I got to agree with Kelly. It should be at 10%. To 39% is still high. He should not have an approval rating at all. His policies and blunders have affected every single person, every class, every gender, every race. Everybody should be equally outraged at Biden because he has not performed. There's no element in his job duty that he's performed and done anything at any level of competency at. His foreign policy is incompetent. His monetary policy is incompetent. He hasn't done shit for black people except for harmful policies. Literally, there is no constituency of any person in the United States that should have anything satisfactory to say about Joe Biden. Yeah, I agree, DJ Elmo. He should go bike riding with with Stacey Abrams. I don't know. He might survive if he mess around and lands on Stacey, so maybe not. I don't know. Stacey might provide a hell of a cushion in case of a crash. You know what I'm saying? Bob said he had a lot of time today. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Bombs over Baghdad. Bombs over Biden. They're going to have the FBI at my house now. You know what I'm saying? The cost of gas and housing are rising for all of us, but our seniors on a fixed income are seeing rising rents that are making it impossible to stay in homes where they spent decades, she said. At the end of the pilot program, Lawson and Rimmer said the county's new Office of Evaluation will study its results, which could lead to it being scaled up to help more people. So they're going to put out about $3 million for this program. Now, and you don't see any black people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You see like Ethan and Nathan over there. You know what I'm saying? Ah, man, we got to make sure Al McCowan, you hold it down wherever you at. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, it's supposed to be some bad storms coming up. You know what I'm saying? In Florida, Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian sounds like it's gonna wash up on the shore with a AR-15, don't it? Hurricane Ian gonna wash up on the shore with an AR-15 and a manifesto. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love to Cindy Pettifer, who just became a member. You know what I'm saying? Drop some radiation emojis. That definitely helps. Appreciate you, Cindy. Do you guys think that Hurricane Ian is gonna is Hurricane Ian gonna have a manifesto and a And the AR-15 or no? It's just gonna come with rain and high winds. What do you guys what do you guys think? Notice how none of these hurricanes have black names. I know, right? Hurricane Tyrone will come through and get everybody pregnant and shit. You know what I'm saying? So shit. Maybe that's good. we can't have that. You know what I'm saying? Doing a survey. We got DJ Elmo doing a survey. Anybody listening from the UK? If y'all listening from the UK, you know what I'm saying, throw a thumbs up in the comment section. If you're not, throw a thumbs down. Well, except Katrina, but that was definitely racist. Yeah, wasn't Katrina the hurricane that hit in Louisiana? Yeah, that was some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? FEMA was on some bullshit with Hurricane Katrina. You know what I'm saying? We already dealing with Hurricane Joe as the president. You know what I'm saying? There's another person that's from the UK, but they don't. They only come to the stream once in a blue moon. I think his name is Gentleman Preferred or something like that. He's from the UK. We gotta get some more UK people in here. I ain't seen Sophia in a while, but it's just y'all two. Hurricane Manifesto. That sounds like it comes right off the shore of Cuba. Black Star, what's going on with you, bro? Hurricane Manifesto sound like it came right off the shore of Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Man, oh man. So like, yo, we got a lot of shit popping off. I got so many more all money ain't good money videos to do. Like it's just crazy. It's massive amounts of money being doled out. And I want people to make sure that you guys keep track of it because it's important. Because the main talking point is that we don't have any money. We can't do this right now. We can't do this. We can't do that. Yeah, you can. Like AB Promotions said, Ice Cube said, which speaking of Ice Cube, shout out to my man TD Hip Hop Media. If you guys haven't checked out the video that he just dropped on Ice Cube, make sure you guys check that out. It's actually about an LA Times article, but I'll let you guys watch the video because, you know, got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But pay very close attention. Pay very close attention also to what's not being said. I'm telling you, there is Democrats not being supported by black people in a normal functioning world would be a huge news story. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why that's not being covered. There's a reason why that's not being covered. They are going through great lengths to not talk about that. My question for you guys is why? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and make sure that you hit that bell icon twice, smash the like button, share the video out, make sure that you subscribe to the backup channels in my social media, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right? Peace.